As the YSL Rico case continues, we're now seeing more and more YSL members snitching their way out of it. The truth is, no one wants to sit in prison for 15 plus years on Rico charges. Even though all of these YSL members that are now snitching all pretended like they were really like that on Instagram Live and on social media, but the moment they got arrested for the crimes that they were committing, they started singing like the birds, giving information on Young Thug left, right, and center. Now this has really affected Young Thug in the courtroom, as we now understand why this famous clip of Young Thug banging his head on the table in the courtroom was from. Now just last week in the courtroom, it was announced that the head snitch in YSL is known as YSL Woody. And when this was announced in the courtroom, Young Thug did this. Leave a like on the video if you're a fan of Young Thug. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Now, sources claim that allegedly that is Young Thug's official reaction to the courtroom releasing new information on YSL Woody, and the fact that he's been a federal informant and he is the sole reason why the feds were able to solve 50 crimes made by YSL. As shared by DJ Academics himself, this tweet: truth teller YSL Woody popped back out on the gram last year after cooperating with the police for 3 hours in solving over 50 crimes, telling on Young Thug, YFN Lucci, and others. Ironically, in his caption, he claims that he didn't cry or cooperate. Now, just as his tweet stated, before YSL Woody became a snitch, he actually posted this on his Instagram in 2021. It says, and I quote, "I sat in jail days, nights, months, and years. I didn't know my outcome. I didn't call on God, didn't cry, or cooperate. I started working and understanding myself, realizing who I am and what I'm worth. Jail gave me time to think, grow, and understand. Only point I have to prove is showing my people that whatever we put our mind to, we can do. Stay away from bad energy, focus, and believe in yourself." Taking a photo with the YSL mansion that is owned by Young Thug as well. And again, YSL Woody, he may have been about that life before he snitched, but once he was told the prison sentence for Rico charges, he started snitching like none other during his video interrogation. It's almost like he read an entire 300-page book. He knew everything that was going on inside of YSL and in the streets of Atlanta. Now at this point, many YSL members that Young Thug thought of as brothers are now turning on him daily, as shared even by Young Thug's sister, who spoke about the clip of him looking defeated in the courtroom, telling us to realize that Young Thug is going to court daily, 8 hours a day. People he called brothers, turning on him and snitching every day. This is a very hard time for him. And to make matters even worse, while Young Thug is battling one of the hardest court cases to beat all by himself, his best friend Gunna, who also snitched on him, has now broken his silence from the case. As on February 22nd, Gunna's lawyer released this new statement regarding Gunna snitching. As Academics shared, Gunna's lawyer put out this statement saying Gunna ain't no truth teller and he won't help put King Slime behind bars. Do y'all believe it? With this statement attached, and I quote, "Comment on article from Gunna's co-lead defense counsel Steve. After reading Miss Wick's outstanding and insightful article, I am obligated to say for the record one more time that Gunna has never been interviewed by or cooperated with law enforcement or prosecutors in the Rico case, nor have his attorneys proffered information on his behalf. What was said at his Alford plea hearing was solely to resolve his own case. It cannot be used by the prosecution against Young Thug or any other defendant." Now, in case you are unaware, Gunna did snitch, but it was not in the YSL Rico case. Gunna snitched in a completely separate court case. Now, in this case, he actually did snitch on Young Thug still. Young Thug and Gunna were pulled over in a vehicle around a year ago. Inside of the car was a firearm as well as narcotics. So in the video clip of Gunna snitching, he claimed that the firearm and narcotics are not his. So if they aren't his, this would obviously then land on Young Thug in the court's eyes. But yes, his lawyer is technically telling the truth. Gunna did not snitch on Young Thug in the YSL RICO case, but he did snitch on their own separate case.
You agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Young Thug has been crying, stressing, and wanting help from YSL members. He wants the snitching to just be over with, that way no more charges get added to his sentence. YSL members have been snitching on Young Thug since day one of the court case. As this was said only 2 days into the YSL mansion raid where 28 members were arrested.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
With YSL members already snitching just 1 day into the RICO case, there is now up to 15 snitches in YSL. It's very clear the prosecutors only want Young Thug and only him, as this was even proven when a YSL member tried setting up Young Thug in the courtroom, and it seems as if every court hearing Young Thug is involved in, somebody is snitching on him or affecting his future in the case. It's unknown if prosecutors set up this YSL member to do this or not, but a YSL member tried slipping Young Thug something illegal in front of several cameras, security guards, and in front of the judge, almost making it feel like this had to have been a setup by the prosecutors. As it was announced, my colleague Mark just obtained surveillance video that shows the moment prosecutors allege that Young Thug and his co-defendant Khalif Adams of conduring a hand-to-hand deal in court. Here is the footage. As the Twitter thread continues, prosecutors say the surveillance shows Adams walking to where Young Thug is seated with his attorney. He then drops narcotics into his hand. A deputy confronts Young Thug and he turns over the items to authorities. When deputies searched Adams, they found him in possession of narcotics wrapped in plastic and food seasoning to conceal the odor. According to investigators, Adams was taken to Grady Hospital after he appeared to ingest other items of contraband in an effort to conceal the extent of his crime with the courtroom. The prosecutors filed a motion asking the courtroom to make a finding of fact that court was delayed on January 18th, 2023 because of the actions of defendant Williams and defendant Adams. to the final tweet stating, an attorney, Keith Adams, for Young Thug responded to the allegations that his client was involved in the deal. Now, one of Young Thug's lawyers also then reacted to the allegations outside of the courtroom. Here's what he said.
The reality is, Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom on yesterday. One of the co-defendants, on his way to the restroom, attempted to pass something to Mr. Williams, who immediately turned it over to the deputy.
He did not know it was allegedly Percocet?
Did not know. Well, we don't know what it is. Did not know what it was, turned it over to the deputy right away. The deputies took action. The individual who had the contraband, not Mr. Williams, was taken into the back.
Now, everything in the YSL Rico case has just gotten so bad to the point that Young Thug's lawyers aren't even trying to have him released from prison anymore. When Gunna was released in the courtroom, Young Thug's lawyers also argued for his release as well. As they are both rappers, they have important work to do, and it's taking up a lot of financial gain for Young Thug as well as his employees. But the prosecutors were quickly to deny this, as they were ready for this. They told the judge all of this new information on Young Thug using his Twitter account for crime. While sitting in jail, Young Thug would have his manager tweet out certain things for him to keep an update on social media so people don't forget about him. Now, his manager released a tweet stating, "I'm talking with my roommate and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore at Michael Phelps." Now, what seems like a very innocent tweet sent out by his manager turned ugly, as this was Young Thug's lawyer defending him in court.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean...
That was an innocent... That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, can you swim 100 miles in the ocean? That has nothing to do with intimidation. That ask you, Rico?
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay over there?
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right?
Yes, I'm great.
Okay, cool.
Now, allegedly, Young Thug is using his Twitter account through jail via his manager to send out secretive tweets. The secretive tweet theory all began when YSL Woody started snitching on Young Thug at the beginning of the case. I'm curious to know your guys' opinion. Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the YSL Rico case. It's been District Trending and I'm out. Peace.